being a boxer isn't an everyday trade that I can take anywhere around the world. Do you know what I mean? It's not something I can do till I'm 50 years old. I just realised I've got a short window and I need to express myself and my talent to the world. So it's a real hustle, man.
Sparring with Joshua, we know that whatever opponents we're going to face in the amateurs, we're going to spar with Joshua. We can expect the best. So it prepares us to be the sharpest and the best that we can be. As I've come out, Fraser's gone in, and it's good to be sharp 3 rounds. You can have another good sharp 3 rounds there.
How I keep positive, I'd say, is every time it gets tough, and when I feel like I don't want to do it, there is someone out there in this world laying on a hospital bed, begging for a second chance at life. I'm sitting there healthy, with good friends, eating, light, running tap water. I don't think I have any excuse to not go hard or live life with a smile on my face.
Anthony Joshua is preparing for the Jake Paul fight with full focus, determined to remind the world exactly who he is.
One more.
You know, so I use YouTube a lot, where there's a lot of videos what I listen to and I update it, and I can always revert back to it when I'm feeling low to get a bit of motivation. Fear comes in many forms. There's some things that I can't get over and I'll always be scared of. But I take the positive from it. Like, I'm never so confident I'm gonna win. It's probably the fact that I'm scared to fail.
Not just a former champion, but a generational force forged from discipline, power, and unmatched professionalism. His camp looks like a scene from a gladiator film. Sunrise sessions where he's already dripping sweat before most people are even awake.
No one forces me to do anything. I make the decision myself, and if I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't. So when I'm faced with the challenge, I just embrace it. And what can one man do except for give his best? If you fail, you try again. If you win, you try again and get better. So as long as you maintain and you stay consistent, you'll forever be a winner and a champion, and the people who love you in their eyes, because they support you nevertheless, as long as you're trying again and again and again.
Strength work that has him moving weight like it's nothing, and conditioning that would exhaust even elite athletes but barely slows his engine. His footwork is razor sharp, his combinations snap like artillery, and every sparring partner brought in ends up looking outgunned. Because Joshua isn't training to compete, he's training to overwhelm.
To stay humble means treat the person who is beneath you in a different class to the same person who's above you in a different class. It's an equal playing field, and we have to treat everyone with the same respect. And that's why, you know, people fight for equality. And I think that's important, and that's why I mix stay hungry and stay humble together in such a fine way that they gel together well. Stay hungry, stay hungry.
Coaches say his focus is sharper, colder, and more dialed in than they've seen in years. The same locked-in intensity that won him Olympic gold and dominated the heavyweight division. Every punch, every drill, every round is a statement. And there's one punch everyone keeps overlooking. Forget the right hand, forget the jab. The real nightmare for Jake Paul is Anthony Joshua's uppercut. Jake falls into the same pattern every time he's rocked, and Joshua knows it.
I hope it's not a game, because I want to see some blood. I want to see somebody's teeth falling out. So I told Anthony, I already messaged Anthony, I was like, listen, I tell you what, I said to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's going to be having a go at you, because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. He has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, you know, people are going to be doubting you as a fighter himself. So he has to smoke him out like what he did Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia in 1 round.
He ducks forward, head down, hands tight like he's bracing for a storm. That's exactly the setup AJ uses to launch the dreaded uppercut. If Jake takes the bait and dips, Joshua's uppercut isn't just waiting, it's lying in wait like a trap ready to strike. That's the shot that doesn't just hurt you. It can erase the round, the game plan, and maybe even the memory of how you got there.
Not to mention, Jake Paul slapped a weight restriction clause on Anthony Joshua despite the fact that this is being fought at heavyweight. Now, in case you missed it, AJ is not allowed to weigh in more than 245 pounds for this fight. And for context, AJ has weighed in more than 250 since after his 2022 fight against Alexander Usyk.
And unless AJ walks in having an existential crisis, hesitates, doubts, freezes, or forgets he's Anthony Joshua, this ends exactly how physics intended. Jake Paul can box, but Anthony Joshua can end eras. When a cruiserweight influencer faces a heavyweight puncher with Olympic mechanics and skyscraper power, the universe only allows one outcome. Speaking of getting erased by physics, that brings us perfectly to Dan Rafael, who just dropped his reaction like a journalist stumbling into a disaster movie trailer.
I'm going to say it for you. Okay?
Don't. No,
if
please
Jake
don't.
Paul
No.
beats Anthony Joshua by a knockout, this is a million times better than what I always have thought was a very ill-conceived event with Tank Davis. So whatever you think about Jake and some of the types of fights that he has made, you got to give him credit for at least everybody has said for a long time now, fight a real fighter, fight a real boxer. Well, Anthony Joshua was absolutely a real boxer, a real fighter.
Dan's sitting there basically saying, look, AJ might be coming off a 14-month layoff, fresh elbow surgery, and a Du Bois knockout that looked like someone unplugged his Wi-Fi mid-fight. But even with all that, he's still dangerous enough to compete with any heavyweight on earth. And he's right. While Jake Paul has improved, credit where it's due, going from influencer punches to actual combinations, Dan's insiders, the real matchmakers who build contenders, are staring at this fight like Jake accidentally clicked legendary difficulty on a video game.
Can't deny that. Like you said, two-time world champion, Olympic gold medalist. Now, he may not be at what he was when he was absolute peak. There's no doubt that Anthony Joshua was beyond his apex of his career.
Mm-hmm.
But even though he'll be coming off of about a 14-month layoff.
Yeah.
He's coming off having had surgery on his elbow. He's coming off of a very, very, very difficult, brutal, hard knockout loss in the Dubois fight.
One guy even used the word decapitation, and you could see Dan holding back a laugh like, please don't get me demonetized today. And honestly, it makes sense. When experts look confused, promoters nervous, and journalists start speaking disaster movie language, you know this fight isn't about courage. It's a dare. Jake took it anyway, and now we're all left to watch whether boldness becomes brilliance or just a spectacular highlight reel. Either way, pop the popcorn. December 19th is going to be chaos on a stopwatch.
Jake Paul certainly has gotten better since he fought Tommy Fury. He's certainly gotten better over the last number of fights. Now, is he at an elite, world-class level? Probably not yet. He may never get to that level, but so you got to give him props. He's taken on a guy that I spend part of my morning talking to different boxing matchmakers, people I've known for decades in this business, who have vast experience of building fighters and moving fighters and developing them, and they know a lot better than you or me what they're looking at. And to a person, they were like, they don't understand why Jake took this fight because they think it's, one person used the word of decapitation.
Just when Dan Rafael had us all thinking Jake accidentally signed up for a physics experiment, boom, here comes Chael Sonnen, strolling in with full, I told you so, energy, like he's narrating the trailer for Jake Paul's consequences. You can practically feel him grinning as he breaks it all down. Confirmations, denials, phone calls to commissions. The man basically turned into boxing Sherlock to make one point. If nobody says no, it usually means, yeah, they love this train wreck. And the way he frames Jake stepping into this fight, it's like Chael is warning you not to push the big red button, then smiling because he knows you will anyway. You, me, all of us, we're watching Jake Paul walk straight into a heavyweight wood chipper with confidence, sunglasses, and a camera crew.
Jake Paul has abilities to win this fight. A lot of them involve moral victories. A lot of them involve getting out of the first round. And a lot of them would involve getting out of the first 2 rounds and haven't been knocked down yet. One would be getting out of the 3rd round, you've only been on the canvas once and you got up to your feet, you shook it off and you're ready to keep going. Like, these things are all victories, but the fight that it's going to happen, I think it's a big deal for Jake Paul. I think it's a big deal for everybody involved. I think it's a big deal that Francis looks at that fight and realizes, oh, these things make sense. These things that make dollars, they make sense. That's his business. This was his opportunity that he missed out on. And now Joshua's gonna have a lot of fun.
Then Chael drops the real hammer. The audience finally gets what they've been asking for. A real boxer, real size, real danger, and real consequences. And he's right. Take away all the noise, and this fight looks like someone dared Jake to sprint into a brick wall just to see what happens to the brick. Chael even hands out moral victories like coupons. Survive a round, survive two, stand up once. That's your trophy. Meanwhile, AJ's standing there like a man who already lived through the Francis Ngannou fight and realized it was basically cardio with commentary. Now he gets to do it again, but with actual risk, speed, and heavyweight power behind every punch. And Chael's point is spot on. We don't need to read a single exhibition clause. Not a word, not a comma. As long as both swing full power, the rules might as well be confetti, because you and I know how this movie ends. And Jake Paul's haters? They're sitting front row, popcorn in hand, seatbelts fastened.
Acting it out like Dana. So it's a very bad idea. Because it's everything that everybody's ever wanted they're going to be given. Dana said, be careful with what you ask for. And what Dana's talking about is they want to see Josh Paul fight a seasoned, in his prime, of his size, real boxer. And that's what Joshua is. So Dana's talking about you're going to get what you asked for. Well, what you asked for is a real fight. What you asked for is for somebody with the power and the danger to beat you. What you, the audience, have asked for Jake Paul is that you want to see somebody end this experiment.
And sliding straight out of Chael's boxing detective work into Carl Frocka's primetime rant, you can feel the temperature spike. Frock doesn't just roll his eyes, he grabs a sledgehammer. He calls it Clown World, labels Jake a clown, and flat out says AJ's cashing out and finished at the elite level. I hear him, I respect the Cobra's pedigree, and yeah, Frocka's takedown is delicious TV. 10-ounce gloves, 8 3-minute rounds, 1-round job talk. That's raw, unfiltered opinion, and it lands. But here's my hot take. You can agree with Frock that this reeks of payday and spectacle and still not sleep on the fact AJ has the tools to make it savage and short. You and I both know the puncher math. Power doesn't RSVP, it shows up. If AJ comes in sharp, that uppercut we keep whispering about, the tight 1-2 down the middle, could end this before Jake finishes his first motivational tweet. Frock thinks it's a mismatch. I think he's feeding the narrative machine. Whether it's a mismatch or a statement fight depends on AJ's focus on fight night, not the pundits' hot takes.
Fake Paul is the A-side. He wanted to be the A-side, so it's billed Fake Paul, Anthony Joshua, but I mean, AJ's agreed to it because the old buns, money talks, doesn't it? But yeah, Fake Paul, Anthony Joshua, in that order. How's he the A-side? Never even fought a heavyweight in the professional capacity, and he's jumping in with AJ. We'll get into it now. So Jake Paul said this isn't an AI simulation. He's probably going to hope it is when AJ starts clumping him around the ear holes. I don't think that'll last long as soon as he lands. This is Judgment Day. I thoroughly hope.
Now, let's be honest. Frocka's drama is the spice we all click for, but here's where I go bold. This fight is a litmus test for boxing's modern era. If AJ polishes his timing, controls distance, and detonates that uppercut when Jake dips, it's an old-school KO that silences the circus, nets AJ a tidy paycheck, and reminds the world why heavyweight punches still matter. If AJ hesitates, drifts into exhibition mode, or treats this like a cameo, the internet will eat him alive, and Frocka's career over narrative will trend for weeks. You, me, we're on the front row for either outcome. A vintage heavyweight reminder of physics and pain, or a headline screaming, entertainment finally outpaced the sport. Honestly, I want both. One clean AJ knockout to prove the skeptics wrong, and 1,000 memes banking the rest. Tell me in the comments, do you want AJ to cash out clean or rebuild for legacy?
If this is a straight up AJ versus Jake Paul, then we all know what should happen. This is a one-round job. Because AJ, even though he's past his best, even though he's seen better days, he throws a nice 1-2 down the middle. He's got a nice bit of distance, and Fake Paul can't fight. He just can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. He can't fucking fight. He lost to Tommy Fury for crying out loud. He can't jump in with Anthony Joshua now and expect to get a result. So, nothing's going to, no doubt's going to disappear. All that's going to happen is going to be the end of Fake Paul.
And at the end of all this chaos, all this analysis, all these legends chiming in like it's a heavyweight town hall meeting, here's where I land. This fight isn't just a matchup. It's a measuring stick for the entire sport. legacy versus momentum, power versus audacity, physics versus Instagram confidence. You and I are strapped in, watching to see whether Jake Paul pulls off the craziest plot twist of the decade, or Anthony Joshua reminds the world that heavyweight reality does not negotiate with hype. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What are we really looking at here? A miracle, a mismatch, or the most entertaining demolition job we've seen in years? And yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Bloodline. See you in the next one.